Welcome to Fancounters. My name's Nick.
And I'm Elizabeth.
And she's on the phone because what are you doing this week?
Oh, my gosh. It's the Tour of America's Dairyland.
And in 30... what is that?
Okay, it's the nation's largest bicycle race. Like, everyone's familiar with the Tour de France. That is the world's largest bicycle race. This is a criterium race where they don't race across country, but they race in small spaces. So each city over the 11 days has a mile-ish course.
Mm-hmm.
And we move from city to city. And the kids, there's usually a kids race. My daughter Lily took second place in one of the races.
Woohoo!
And and Mark is the medical director. So we follow the circuit through the state of Wisconsin. It is the Tour of America's Dairyland, and we will wrap it up this coming weekend.
All right, biggest injury so far, what's it been?
I think mostly it's been a couple of broken clavicles. I think there was a broken arm. But
they're falling off the bike then, huh?
Well, they are. Yeah, mostly it's crashes.
Uh-huh.
The main thing you're doing is mostly picking road rash out of people.
Fine.
And then dealing with that. Yeah, I don't do any of it. I just stand by the medical tent.
Sure.
Yeah. And the first night we threw a party for the hand cyclists. Those are people, most of them disabled veterans, who are biking with their hands. And so they are either reclined or sitting up, and then they use their hands to race. And that circuit ended up last Sunday. And then we threw a little dinner party for them as they were finishing up their circuit.
Very fun. Now, I had more fun than you last night, though.
Yeah, why?
All right, Wednesday night I was at Summerfest, the world's largest outdoor music festival. I went there with my wife, and we went to see Walk the Moon. You know those guys?
Oh, I have heard of them, yeah.
The Shut Up and Dance people?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
okay.
What is interesting about that is they have a varied set list. I thought, I'm waiting for Shut Up and Dance the whole time. Why didn't I think of going on setlist.fm to find out what order they're going to play it in? Well, they vary their set list every single night. Not one show was the same on there, so I had no idea when it was coming. Well, an hour and 5 minutes into the set, instead of song number 6, which it's been in a lot in the past, nope, it must have been song like 12 or 14.
Oh, my God. Well, see, they've got to keep that crowd moving.
That's right, and it was a really good show. They did an awesome job. There's a lot of hand motions and hand dancing going on with that show. I don't know how the people learn the moves, except if they go to a lot of Walk the Moon shows, but that show was fabulous. As soon as they sang Shut Up and Dance, I moved to another stage because next door, guess who was playing?
Who?
Hanson. And we got there just in time for them to sing Bop. Right. I was like, the timing couldn't have been better.
Nice.
And then that's not all.
That is the beauty of the largest music festival.
Oh, yeah, because that's not all. After we heard Bop, we walked to the other end of the grounds because a very special guest was playing. Foreigner was performing, and we caught the last 2 songs of Foreigner's set, and that was a lot of fun, too.
Fantastic.
Now, I mentioned Foreigner because on the show this week, we have Mick Jones, the founder, one of the founders of Foreigner. He's going to be joining us in just a little bit, but I have a story to tell you about that interview. I prepared for Foreigner. I prepared to talk to Mick Jones. What I didn't prepare for was my lack of time management. I looked at the clock, and it was 2 minutes till the time that I had to interview him. And I thought, oh, my gosh, I never printed up my script. Now, I have a problem because my computers, anytime you want to do something quick, nothing is ever quick with computers and printers and all that stuff. First of all, I couldn't get the thing to print. I had 2% left on the computer battery, and it died. I was dying. I'm rushing around, and I'm like, this guy's calling me in 90 seconds. I could not get anything to work. Now, we had a very limited time with Mick Jones to begin with. At first, they told me I was only going to have 20 minutes, which was, okay, we'll take what we can get. We're not picky.
Right.
Well, then I get on the phone, and they're like, he's only got 15 minutes. And I thought to myself, perfect, because my computer's being a not working.
Naughty.
It's being, okay, because my computer's being naughty. Yeah. So this is one interview where I had to remember the questions that I was going to ask him. and sort of ad-libbed a lot. So I hope
Oh my gosh.
I hope it came out okay. You and the
I'm
listeners.
sorry, I missed it.
I know you and the listeners can be the judge.
All right.
So, I guess without further ado, here is Mick Jones from Foreigner.
Coming to you from nowhere near the entertainment capital of the world, this is Fancounters with Nick and Elizabeth on the PodFix network.
There was this mob of people, and they're screaming my name.
Crazy fans.
Stop following me. Don't come around my house. If you do, the cops are going to be at yours.
If I'm having dinner with my wife, don't sit down at my table. Don't follow me into the bathroom.
Can I take a picture? We're going to, oh my God.
I think this guy wants to fight me. Ended up being a fan.
I'm the only one that's ever been on Sam Jackson and lived to tell about it.
Well, guess what? I have a big surprise for you.
That's why we call it Fancounters.
I don't think you're going to last on the air very long.
Thank you so much for doing an interview with us. We do appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure.
Now, you are playing the largest music festival in the world, Summerfest, and I know you've played that before here in Milwaukee. You'll be appearing on Friday, June the 28th. Do you have fond Summerfest memories, or do you remember playing this festival in the past?
Oh, yeah, I remember playing it. I'm just trying to think of some memories.
Well, that's okay.
My memory's not so good.
That's okay.
But I know we've always had a great time there. It's been interesting to watch it grow over the years and turn into what you were saying is the biggest. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's the largest
outdoor festival.
You got it. Mm-hmm.
Hey. Congratulations.
Yeah. Now, you have so many hits with Foreigner. My question always is to bands who have been playing what seems like forever, do you ever get tired of playing the hits over and over? Are there songs where you're like, oh, if I have to play this song another time, I will go crazy?
You would think so after this long a time, but actually, no. I especially with the current lineup that we have had now for pretty much 12 years or so. It's never been more fun playing. They're great musicians, great individual characters on stage. You know, it's got everything that I was hoping we could achieve. And tremendous band, and they're so full of energy, and that I have to move around. Otherwise, I don't want to look that, but I'm keeping up a lot of the time, and but it's a joy to play with them. It's stimulating. We change up the solos and stuff like that a bit every night, and other parts of the songs, and so it sounds pretty fresh, I have to say.
Excellent. Now, I will tell you, my daughters are 7, but Foreigner was the first concert they ever went to, even as a baby, because you were playing at a county fair. And I wasn't going to miss the show, so we brought them with headphones, and it was a great time. I mean, you do still put on a fantastic show.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess I'm proud of how we've managed to, make a big comeback. A lot of work involved, a lot of touring, and all that. It was a little tough at first when I reformed the band, basically, but now we're reaping the benefits of all that, and very happy.
It's kind of funny. You can watch a really old movie, like from the 80s or something, and it does seem dated, but even as I listened to the greatest hits of Foreigner this week in preparation for the interview, that music still seems very timeless. Do you feel that it kind of has that same... It makes people feel the same way that they did when they first heard the song, and do you also feel like your music has kind of stayed consistent, whereas, movies seem aged, but music can stay fresh forever?
Yeah. I think so. I look out at the crowd and I check out how they're responding, and usually it's pretty wild. And, there's a lot of young people at the shows now, and they're down the front, and they're actually singing along with the songs. I'm talking about, teenagers, and it makes me think, wow, I never ever dreamed that I'd be, that this band would still have survived. And I think the key, the secret really has been the songs alongside the, the performances everything at the foundation is the song, and I think somehow these songs have just stood the test of time. I'm baffled sometimes how it just keeps going on. But then again, these days there's some artists that can still really deliver it. And I think we're one of those.
I believe so, too. You have not yet been nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Is that something that you think about as far as if Foreigner will ever get in?
Well, I think about it sometimes, but I've kind of let it go a bit, and just in the hope that maybe that they'll come around, or we'll come around at some point. But I don't lose sleep about it. Let's put it that way.
That's good.
I was very honored to get with Lou to get the Songwriters Hall of Fame induction. So that was that helped to make up for it so far.
Well, congratulations on that, Mick. I want to know.
You.
I want to know. We always talk about fan encounters on this show. That's kind of the hook of our show. So I was wondering if you have any fan memories that you've had, maybe weird, fun, that have stuck with you throughout the years.
Well, I think the song that Jukebox Hero came from an experience, that we had. We were playing in the I think it was Cincinnati, and we went down to the arena for a sound check, and it was pouring, absolutely pouring with rain, and there were about 7 or 8 fans braving it, waiting by the stage door, and we got back later for the show, and there was just this one poor guy left who was absolutely soaked, drenched, and I looked at him, and he looked so sorry for himself that I invited him into the show.
Aww.
And he, he couldn't believe it, and he was just mind-boggled. And I gave him the full kind of backstage, experience. He even got a couple of groupies to chat with him.
Wow.
And he was just I could see that he was just transported almost. And that's where the idea for the song came. Sometimes,
like during meet and greets, have you ever had like a crazy, weird fan where you're just like that? Like, what was that all about? Have you had any encounters with like weird fans?
Well, you do from time to time. They slip through. Not really. I can't. Not one that really stands out particularly, but I try and I think the best thing is not to really encourage them or just keep them at arm's length if that's the case, because we sometimes concerts do attract a few fringe people.
Sure.
And but it's all part of the game. It's all part of rock and roll, and you got to kind of live with that. It's never really been a big bother, but so we're lucky.
Now, you've crossed paths with a lot of celebrities, a lot of bands during your musical career. Have any other bands or celebrities had an impact on you one way or another?
Well, we came out pretty much at the same time as... No, actually, we came out a year before Bryan Adams, and we took him on tour with us.
Nice.
And that was a great experience. He's a great guy, great writer. And, we've had a lot of fun with him. Cheap Trick was also one of the early days, that we toured with. And that was a challenge. I had played big shows before, but we were on a headline tour with Cheap Trick, and you could tell that they do their utmost to blow us off the stage, and but they didn't achieve that, and we became very good friends, and they've toured with us a number of times, so they're really cool guys and, veterans, but still sounding great.
The live shows have a kind of a younger band. You mentioned that. Is there anything else that the fans should look for at your performances that you have coming up as far as epic things that happen? I know that I've read that there's drum solos during the show, probably a lot of musical solos. Anything different that you're doing for the show that we can be on the lookout for?
Well, we really just rely on the combination of the songs and the power of the band. It's come a long, long way, and I just really look forward to the shows every night. I'm not kidding. I just I sometimes have to pinch myself and say, have we really achieved this? Have we made a comeback? But we have. And so it's just going to be an exciting show. It's not 6 or 7 guys just, standing there. It's going to be exciting. Yeah. So
touring, even after all this time, has never gotten old for you?
No, I mean, some parts of the 90s, we were having not such a great time. It was grunge basically had taken over in rock, and it was a bit of a slog for us during those times. But when we first came out, we were at the dawn of punk and new wave and disco. We've been through all the challenges and come out pretty good. So can't complain about that.
Well, it does seem that this is a decade of everything old is new again, and you are probably reaping a lot of the benefits of everybody feeling very nostalgic about things that were hot a while ago.
Yeah, I think they do. You see, I like to look out and see the reactions, the emotion from the crowd, and you can tell it was, brought on by memories of something, sometimes mostly good, but sometimes it reminds them of a couple of our songs get played very often at weddings.
Yep.
and sometimes, more serious, not so fortunate circumstances. And our music has been, I get a lot of, letters about that the songs helped them get through a period in their life that was very sad, and the song helped them. Want to know what love is a big one for that.
I want to thank you so much for joining us on Fancounters this week and being a guest, kind of sharing some of your memories of fans, and we do look forward to seeing you at Summerfest.
Yeah, well, we're itching to be there, too.
Excellent. Thanks again,
okay,
Mick.
Man.
I hope you have a great afternoon.
Thanks, Nick. Bye.
Our thanks to Mick Jones from Foreigner for joining us on the show this week. And Summerfest is going on in Milwaukee. It started Wednesday. It runs all the way till, I think, July the 7th, whatever that Sunday is. And they have music acts, big and small. You really should check it out sometime. Fancounters is proud to be an official media partner of Summerfest. And we thank them for allowing us onto the grounds to cover the shows. And you'll be hearing a lot more about our experiences in the coming week or so. Elizabeth, anything else going on that you want to mention?
No, I think that there's still plenty of time to get to Milwaukee. Don't think that you have to have Summerfest tickets in advance. You can just walk up to the gate and get them. So if you're calling or if you're listening from anywhere in the world, come on down. You can be in Milwaukee in just a few hours from wherever you are.
Absolutely. Yep. Lots of great information at summerfest.com. That's going to do it for us. You can follow us on Twitter at Fancounters Live. We also have our official Facebook group. If you search Fancounters on Facebook, and then our private, very private group is Sharpie Nation. Search for that on Facebook and ask to join. You can also email us
at hello@fancounters.com.
I called you just so you could do that part.
It's my only job.
And you do it so well, too.
Thanks.
Oh, man. We've got lots of neat updates coming up in the next week or so. We hope you have a great week, and we will talk to you next Friday.
See ya. Bye.
This was a podcast from the PodFix Network. You can check out more shows like it at podfixnetwork.com.